And welcome to this week's edition of the Red Mountain Express. I believe we're on episode 31. I'm your host, Blake Westbrook, and joining me as always is Mr. Matthew Joyner. Mr. Joyner, happy weekend, man. How you doing?
Doing good, man. It has been a pretty good weekend. Pretty busy. We just came, in the last 5 minutes, came back in from Huntsville. So been on the road for a few hours this weekend and saw all our family and got to do some family time stuff. But pretty simple weekend. What about you?
We were kind of lazy.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, not lazy. Okay, let me take that back. I was lazy. Okay, my wife was not. She made from scratch this big old pot of shrimp etouffee, and I mean, this is like a big deal to us because she has to go and get all the ingredients. She has to make the stock, which takes her about an hour and a half, and then the stock has to whatever the stock does, simmer for 45 minutes, and then
stock stuff.
Yeah, and then it takes another hour after that to make it. But we had this big old pot of shrimp etouffee, and my parents came to town. They were dropping off a toy box that was mine as a child and that we're going to use for our daughter. And this stock pot probably made like a gallon, maybe a little bit more than a gallon. And
that's a pretty good bit.
We only had 2 bowls left over today for lunch.
Oh, nice.
So it was excellent. It was excellent.
But it was you and your parents and your wife. So that's
right.
That's
it was 4 of us, but I'll give you a picture to put on the show notes. But but I'll tell you what, it was so good. It's probably my favorite thing she makes, and she's a really good cook.
I don't think I've met a bowl of etouffee that I didn't like. But I have heard you brag about Megan several times. So.
I love Cajun food.
Yeah.
She makes really good jambalaya, but the shrimp etouffee is probably the best stuff.
Oh, nice, cool.
I love it a lot. So yeah, but pretty good weekend. We my parents came to town. They dropped off the toy box. I had a buddy of mine who is moving from Charlottesville, Virginia, to San Diego, and him and his wife were making their way westward, and they stopped in for a few minutes yesterday and saw us. So it was good to see them, and so yeah, went to church today. That was about it.
Cool.
It was nice.
We came back home to a surprise visit from Beach and Woodworks. They're working on our kitchen island. I don't know. You saw it when you came in.
I saw it when I came in. It looks, man, it's looking really good.
They've got the legs on it. We bought the 2 big cabinet pieces there. They've got doors on them and stuff, and we set them there in the kitchen. And we were gone this weekend, and we came back, and all of a sudden there's legs now for the island. All we need now is to put the paint on it and put the top on.
What kind of top are you going to put on the top?
I think it's walnut. No, I'll have to ask Laura. She is the one that has dreamed up this island and got it all set up. I'll have to ask her and confirm what type of wood it was.
It looks good. It fits well in the kitchen.
It's gonna look really good. We had a lot of dead space, and she really wanted the island for more counter space and area to prepare and cook in.
And people can overdo an island, I think, sometimes. Have you ever gone to a kitchen where you walk in, this island's just a little bit too big for this kitchen, and that's not the case for this. I mean, this is perfect size.
I don't know. I think I've learned that unless it actually fills up all of the usable space in the kitchen, I've not met an island in the last few years that I thought, oh, that's way too big, because the more island space you have, just the more stuff you can put up there. Even if it's not kitchen related stuff, you just got extra countertop space to throw stuff.
I bet my wife could have covered that island with all the stuff she was making with the shrimp etouffee.
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely. And I look forward to seeing what Laura's going to do with it.
When is it going to be finished? Is it?
In the next week or 2.
Okay, so we're coming close to completion.
Yeah, so really excited about that.
I need to talk to them about how to the toy box we have. It's old because of course I'm 33 and we've had it since I was a baby. And then my parents have used it for storage, and they've painted it a couple times. So it needs to be stripped and need to be restained. So I wonder, does Beach and Woodworks do restoration?
You could call them. They have a link to on our website that you could find their information and give them a call.
Beach and Woodworks.
So in other slightly sort of related not even at all related weekend news, there's no way to segue this.
Nowhere. No way related.
There was a news story, though, that I wanted to mention real quick because it doesn't really fit into some of our normal news stories, but there was a fire at Saturn. Now, you said you've been to Saturn before, right?
Yeah, I went to a concert there a couple years ago. A year ago?
Yeah.
A year ago.
I've been to 3 shows there, and I really enjoy that place.
They sell Coors Original there, which is awesome.
You're a fan?
Oh, I love the banquet beer, man.
I've heard they also have some good coffee there.
I've heard that too. That's kind of why I like Saturn, is that it's kind of a mixture. Any place that sells coffee and booze, octane's good, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, get to your story.
So they had a fire in there. I think it was on the 2nd story of Saturn.
Yeah, it was contained to there's an apartment above Saturn. It was contained to this one room, and I think they said most of the damage was from the water sprinklers. Yeah.
I know they moved a couple of concerts that were happening this last week to what's the name of the
Iron City?
Iron City. Yeah, they moved a couple of shows there. Have not read that they're going to have to move any other shows or postpone any other shows. Hopefully this is a fast cleanup for them and there's not much damage. But so hate to hear that, but glad to see that it wasn't that big of a deal and that the building wasn't, permanently destroyed or anything.
When I saw I saw it on Twitter. There was like fire down in City. I was like, oh my, no, don't burn down
Saturn.
the place. Yeah, or it's not Saturn.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that everything was fine. And so speaking of music news, you got some other music news for us.
Yeah, so we've been talking to Justin Kerfman with Feeding Fingers. They're I'm gonna have to read the description here because they're not a band I was really familiar with until they contacted us. They have a show coming up at the Nick on February 23rd and have agreed to do an interview with us. So we're really excited about that, and we want to, in conjunction with that, let y'all know that the show is coming up. Tickets are available. And real quick, I'm going to read their bio. If you've heard of the band, that's great. Let us know. I'll have some links to their music on our show notes. If you haven't heard of them, take a listen. Check out their website. See if you like their music. Go buy the tickets. Justin, I believe, is an Atlanta native. He's been overseas, I think in Italy, and if I'm getting that wrong, he can correct me later, for several years now. But so let me read their bio real quick. For Feeding Fingers, says, formed in 2006 in the United States by composer Justin Kerfman, Feeding Fingers began as an experimental post-punk trio and has since evolved into an interdisciplinary and international music project with intermittent members and contributors from Germany, Austria, Italy, Serbia, Japan, China, and elsewhere. Nearly impossible to classify, Feeding Fingers merges dark wave, indie rock, avant-garde, electro, jazz punk, world music, and more into something all its own. The group's restless process of reinvention has spanned 6 studio albums and 3 intercontinental tours, including shows with acts such as IMAX, David J., Nitzer Ebb, Steve McKay from Iggy Pop and the Stooges, and many others, including 2 live appearances on NPR. Feeding Fingers' next studio album, Do O Harm, that's O-W-E, being an analog electronic rock and jazz-infused study of microtonal, polytonal, xenoharmic music, is due for release on January 5th, 2018. A tour of Europe and the United States in support of the album will begin in January and finish in April 2018. So again, check out their website. That is at feedingfingers.net. And their show is at the Nick on February 23rd. Our interview with them will be not this coming week, but next week. So
look out for that. And like you said, you can more information on the band on feedingfingers.net. Where can you buy tickets at? Is it online?
I believe the Nick has a website.
Nick has a website?
Yeah,
okay.
I will double check that, and I'll have that in our show notes as well. So there
look
you
out
go.
for that.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a break. Hear from our friends over at Beecham Woodworks. I got made fun of, by the way, I said that. That's why I'm saying that. So Beecham Woodworks are good friends. They can make islands, really good heirloom quality furniture. So let's hear from them, and we'll be back with the rest of the show. Beecham Woodworks is a locally owned and operated wood shop in Birmingham, Alabama, specializing in custom furniture and small home goods. Chris and Kanan Beecham create a wide variety of unique pieces of all sizes, ranging from cutting boards to farmhouse tables. Using wood sourced from Alabama sawmills, Beecham Woodworks creates affordable quality pieces that will be a one-of-a-kind fixture for your home. So support your local woodworker and visit redmountainexpress.com/woodworks or check them out on their Facebook and Instagram accounts. Beecham Woodworks, turning your house into a home. And welcome back to the second half of the Red Mountain Express. Do I really say Beecham Woodworks really country?
You are a little bit country sometimes.
Just a little. Really?
I mean, yeah, you're from the South. I'm a little bit country sometimes.
Not all the time, though.
There are people more country than us.
I'm country. You're a little bit rock and roll.
A little bit rock and roll. I'll take
roll.
that, yeah.
Speaking of wood, was it Ikea bought some land here?
Ikea has bought 25,000 acres in Lowndes County, Alabama. 25,000 acres.
Should we be promoting another furniture company on this? We're not promoting. We're just news.
No, yeah, this is just news. I'm not going to promote them. I've got some Ikea stuff in my house.
Made from the finest Alabama pine.
That's okay. So I got really excited when I first saw this headline. I thought, we're going to get an Ikea.
In Lowndes County?
In Lowndes County.
We're going to drive to Hayneville to go to the Ikea.
On 25,000 acres. I really no. So I saw the headline. I didn't know where it was at yet.
Have you been to Lowndes County?
I've been through Lowndes County. I've never stopped in Lowndes County. If we have any listeners in Lowndes County, I don't mean any offense. I just never had a reason to stop there.
I've been to Lowndes County.
Yeah.
I have friends in Lowndes County.
Okay.
Just saying.
What else is in Lowndes County?
My high school rival was in Lowndes County.
Okay.
Lowndes
All right.
Academy, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What cities are in Lowndes County?
Lounsboro and Hayneville.
Okay. All right. So they bought 25,000 acres. They are not building a store on that property. They have bought woodland in order to use for their products, basically. They have a lot of woodland that they owned overseas, but because they have stores popping up left and right in America, I won't say popping up left and right. Ikea doesn't really pop up left and right like that.
I've seen one Ikea store in my life.
There's the one in Atlanta that I've been to. I know there's one in Orlando. I think there's one coming to Nashville soon.
Do you like Ikea?
I have a love-hate relationship with Ikea. Like, so the desk that we're sitting next to right now, that's Ikea. I bought the drawers, the
one your computer's on, right?
Yeah, the butcher block there is Ikea butcher block. It's on top of two desk drawers or two sets of desk drawers, and then the leg in the middle is Ikea.
It's very nice.
I like it because there's a big DIY scene with Ikea stuff. You can go to their product catalog, buy several different mixed items, and just make something with it. And that's what I did with the desk here. That wasn't, like they didn't sell that as a desk unit. I bought the pieces and made something out of it. So I like that. And some of their stuff is good quality, and they have different tiers of quality. That being said, you can buy some stuff like big entertainment centers I've seen before. The instructions can be hit or miss. It's usually all pictures with no words, so you've got to kind of figure that puzzle out if you're a person that actually looks at instructions.
What are instructions? I don't know what those are.
And quality, a lot of times the wood you get or the construction of the material may be like a blend of plastics, maybe some metal, and then particle board. I have not bought many pieces of Ikea furniture that were like a solid piece of wood, with the exception of this butcher block top here.
So what Matthew's telling you folks is do not buy from Ikea. You should call our friends over at Beecham Woodworks.
If you need a wood product.
And have them fashion you whatever you need, from islands in the kitchen to shelves for the baby room to anything you possibly need. Don't call IKEA. In other news, the Amtrak station downtown has finally opened. I know they opened up the Intermodal Center a few months ago.
That's
and
right.
The Amtrak was coming next. It's finally open. I have taken the Amtrak a couple times, not here in Alabama. I took it up in New York, going into the city a couple times and then back to New Jersey. It's a great train ride. And I know there's a train ride from Birmingham all the way down to New Orleans.
Yeah,
I had
absolutely.
some friends of mine that have taken that, and they loved it. They didn't have a good experience on the way back, but I don't think that was because of the train. I think that was because of their long evening in New Orleans.
Yes.
So, yeah, go downtown. It's really cool. It looks really nice, and it does a lot for transit in this city.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool. It's a simple thing. We knew it was coming, but now that it's here, great. Yeah. That's one more thing that we have. I love it.
Yeah. It is Super Bowl Sunday, but we want to talk about a different football right now. The Birmingham Legion has named Jay Heaps as their president and GM. This is kind of big news because you can tell the Birmingham Legion is starting to get their feet up under them and really start forming themselves as an organization, starting at the top. He is a former MLS player. He played for the Miami Fusion, where he was Rookie of the Year in 1999, and then later played for the New England Revolution. He also had 4 appearances with the United States men's team in 2009, and he later went on to coach the New England Revolution from 2011 2017, and I want to say they made an MLS Cup appearance, which is like the championship game, and I think they lost to the Los Angeles Galaxy. But that's good to hear that they're finally they're getting their feet up under them. They're getting their staff together, and hopefully have a good opening season here in the next couple of years.
It
so
sounds like this was a solid pick. Somebody that's got some experience, that has played, that knows how the game works. So
they had their big party at Good People Brewing Company that they had planned for a couple weeks ago. We had the ice storm,
right.
And so this was kind of a rescheduling of that. It looked like they had a lot of people there, and like I said, the name has grown on me. I like it a lot. So yeah. And speaking of Good People Brewing Company, did you hear about the new development that's going to happen kind of behind there?
I had heard rumors or whispers, but I missed this story this week, and you came in and kind of blew my mind with it. I didn't know it had gotten this big yet.
So let's say you're going down First Avenue South, and you have Railroad Park on your right, and you've got Regents Field on your left. Okay,
right.
You keep going straight past Baker's Row, and straight down at the end of the road is First Avenue, this development that's been bought by Third and Urban. They bought it a couple years ago or last year for $4.9 million. and they're going to transform it into a mixed development. It'll include tenants for office space, apartments, commercial space. They're going to begin construction in the spring, and they're going to call it the Denham, which is kind of based off the name of the building, the ones who developed it back in the 20s. It's a big development. It's one of the biggest they've said that's going to happen in the Parkside area.
Yeah, I know. Driving past it, that's a pretty good chunk of property there.
Yeah, and if you go by there, it's a big gray building. It's huge. And so, like I said, they're going to start construction in the spring. You can go to a website online. I think it is, let me see if I get this right. It is denhambuilding.com, DENHAMBLDG.com. And they have information about the development. They have some floor plans there. They also have a little thing about the history of the building. So check that out. It's actually really, really cool. And I've said this before. It shows you that the revitalization of that Parkside area is not contained to that little area. I mean, it's starting to move. You have a Buffalo Wild Wings opening up down the road. You have that opening up.
The steam plant is...
The steam plant is rolling along. I think that's going to be finished here soon. I don't think they've made announcements of what the steam plant's going to be, but...
if I'm not mistaken, one of the signages there on the fence there says something about an amphitheater.
Really?
I think that's right.
I'll take that.
Somebody fact check me if I'm wrong. You can yell at us later. But I think that's what I read. So that's exciting, like another little concert area maybe.
Yeah. They're going to have I think there's going to be event space there too. The cool thing about that is when you drive by, you can kind of see inside and you can see how big of a space that is.
Yeah.
I'd like to go take a tour of that. I wonder if you can do that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Find somebody to put that together for us. I think it's exciting too because you've already got Legion or Region Field there, and you've got the park there, and you've got restaurants popping up. So bringing some more business space into that area will just encourage more growth and hopefully encourage people to make more use of that living space there in the area. I don't know. Yeah, just keep building up from that end and pushing in towards the center of the city. Maybe that's exciting.
I know we've seen a lot of concerts there in Railroad Park. It'd be nice to have something over there. What did we go to that one time?
The Symphony in the Park? Or?
Yeah, that was Symphony. We went to the Symphony in the Park. What were they playing? Was it movie music?
They did. Well, it depends on which night you went, but I think for the night you're talking about, I know they did some Harry Potter music, some Star Wars music.
Right.
The Henry Gregson Williamson stuff.
I remember one summer, 2 summers ago, when me and you were jogging or yogging. It's a soft J. When we were jogging on Sundays, we would jog at Railroad Park. And I remember we would go all the way down to what's the cut? What is that? The Rotary Trail.
Yeah.
We'd jog all the way down there. We'd come back. And I remember being so tired, and I was coming up those stairs, and all of a sudden they had a symphony there, and they were playing the Olympic music, and I got my second wind. It was great. And then I couldn't move the next day, but it was good. So anyway, that's my story for the day. So
good story.
Yeah. The biggest news and our main story today we want to talk about is, and I think we've kind of beat this horse to death, but it's worth beating.
We've talked about it a bunch. I don't think we've beat it to death yet because
there's
been new news almost every week.
Right. So Mayor Woodfin has proposed $90 million for the BJC renovation. That is big.
BJCC renovation and stadium.
The renovation is they want $174 million altogether for the full project. That would include a new stadium, open air or dome. I really don't know. Probably open air.
I believe open air is from the drawings I've seen. Open air is the proposed.
Renovations to the Legacy Arena, and then renovation to the front area. I think it's the Piazza area. Right now, the BJCC has committed $10.7 million. Jefferson County $3 million or $30 million, which is $3 million for 10 years. Is that right?
$3 million for 30. Wait, Jefferson County. Yes,
Jefferson
County,
that's
right. Sorry.
And then UAB has done is going to commit $40 million with naming rights and stuff like that. So with the $90 million from the city, that'd bring us to about $170 million. So pretty darn close. Yeah. This hasn't been decided yet. The city council is going to vote on this coming Tuesday, February 6th. They expect the BJCC to generate about $9.9 million in revenue after this is done, and all of that is going to go to neighborhood revitalization. I think that's kind of where this is pointed. And they were smart about this. I think I saw a news report where they talked to the NCAA and the SEC, which is right across the street, and some other sporting agencies to let them know what we were doing, and and how we can bring better events into the city of Birmingham. So this is a big story, and I'm kind of glad to see it.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, we have talked about the story a lot, so I don't know that there's anything new really for me to chip in with here. I'm really glad that we're pushing forward again. This is another step towards the ultimate goal. I don't know what else to say. Like, I'm just really excited that this is actually happening.
You think it's going to pass?
I think it's going to pass. Yeah. I think right now, looking at what the city council has done so far and what Woodfin has done with the city council, everybody seems to be in agreement and moving forward on these projects, these types of projects.
And this doesn't nix Legion Field's
no, like you said
renovation.
last week, Woodfin had said that a Legion Field and a BJCC renovation/stadium were not mutually exclusive. And there were other projects already being voted on and worked on for the Legion Field renovations. If they took some of the money maybe from the Legion Field renovation and turned it back towards BJCC, wouldn't upset me. I don't think Legion Field needs as much money for renovations if we're going to build a new stadium.
I think Legion Field should be a park. I mean, I think the stadium is historic. What I'd like to see done is have a really nice park over there where you have like kind of an outline of the field that people can run on, and you can talk about the history of the great games that were played there, because there have been some great football games played there, and the Olympics were there too. I just don't know if we want to keep spending money on a stadium that after a new stadium's built, no one's going to use anymore.
I don't know, and that'll be, I guess, one of those things you look at down the road. People may still use it. We may still find uses for it.
Right.
I know one of the proposed projects we talked about for renovations a few months back, one of the council members had mentioned trying to use it for different events like chili cook-offs and, like smaller high school type games or things like that.
You just need a park. You don't need the big old stadium around it.
Sure, but the stadium's already there. I don't know how much money it would cost to actually demolish the stadium and turn that into a park, other than just
very true.
Or versus like putting some money towards bringing it up to code and making it safe and making it usable and making it nice for people to be there.
Well, and I also think it's a good thing that Woodfin ran on neighborhood revitalization. And he also knows the importance of tourism to the city of Birmingham and the importance of a functioning, uptown area in BJCC and a new stadium. He understands the importance of that, obviously, but he's also tied in the neighborhood revitalization to it as well.
Right.
So I think that's really important. I think that's probably why you'd hopefully see the city council get on board with this. So we'll see. Like we said, the city council will meet on February the 6th. That's this coming Tuesday, and we'll keep you updated on that.
Yeah. All right, great.
Yeah.
So kind of a short and dirty episode this week. There is a Super Bowl happening.
Short and what?
Short and dirty.
Short and dirty.
Short and quick and dirty.
Where'd dirty come from?
I have no idea.
I bathed today, man.
There's a football game happening right now as we're doing this.
So we haven't watched any of the football game. What's your prediction? Go.
Patriots.
Give me a score.
Oh, a score. 42-21.
Ooh, high scoring game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say low scoring. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. Eagles, 28-21.
Okay. All right. Not betting anything on this one.
No, hell no. I still owe you a bottle of whiskey for the Alabama game.
So, like I said, short, quick episode. Had a few good stories here, but we're gonna go watch the game now. We'll be back next week with another show and an interview with Ashley Chestnut, author of the children's book Down in the Ham. We'll be talking to her over at Forge there at the Pizitz Food Hall.
I'm excited to go there because we've been to the Pizitz Food Hall. We haven't been upstairs.
Been to Pizitz 100 times, never been in Forge. So I'm excited about that.
They still have a Kaneka corn dog over there?
I have no idea. I'm assuming so.
So good.
It's been a few weeks. Yeah, anyway, so hope you enjoyed the show. If you want more information on our show, we're at redmountainexpress.com. We are also on Facebook and Instagram. You can listen to our show on our website. You can stream it from there. You can subscribe and listen to our show on podcast services such as iTunes, Google Play, Spotify.
And Spotify.
We also have show notes on the website every week, links to stories that we've talked about. I'm also, as I mentioned, going to be linking some music and videos from Feeding Fingers as well as their website, and I'm going to try and link location to buy tickets for their upcoming show at the Nick.
You work so hard at this, Matthew.
I try.
I just show up with notes.
Every
weekend. Well, that'll do it for this edition of the Red Mountain Express. For Matthew Joyner, I'm Blake Westbrook. We'll see you again next week.